Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today I just wanted to let you know that feeling crappy is not a crime. I was writing about something, and somehow whatever I was writing about turned into that, so I decided to just go with it. Um, it brought up this story, right? Once I was in the commissary back when I was in the military, and there was this lady that every time I went in there, she would always have this frown on her face. She was like, And then one day I was coming in there and I was kind of like her bizarro because I always kind of had a smile on my face. And so I said to her one day, "Are you having a nice day?" She said, "No." And I said, "Why don't you smile?" And she went off on me. She said, "Look, why does everybody think that you gotta always be happy all the time?" She said, "There's all these feelings in the world, but some people just pick these feelings that you're supposed to feel and then think that other people are supposed to feel them. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel happy. And so since I don't feel happy, I walk around with a look on my face that shows that I don't feel happy. If I didn't feel happy, but I had a look on my face that looked like I was happy, I'd be lying to myself and everybody else who comes around me." And I said, "Wow, that makes a whole lot of sense." And then she smiled. I don't know if it had something to do with me listening to her or whatever the case may be, but I know one thing. I saw that as a valid point, and I learned something from that. And I've always been a person that's been relatively good at articulating my emotions, so that a lot of times I don't have to go off, or I will, but I don't have to. And most of the time, I can just say, "Well, this is what I'm feeling," and so I see that as a gift. But a lot of times, people feel like they can't say how they feel. They feel like they have to be happy all the time, or they have to be joyous all the time. And it's nothing more, um, what's the word I can say for it? More frustrating, I guess, than to be speaking with someone who you know they aren't happy, but they're pretending like they are because they think that they're supposed to, because no communication really happens. You see somebody, you know they're mad, they're about to go crazy and everything, and you say, "How you feeling?" And they say, "Oh yes, feeling great. Too blessed to be stressed." And it's like, yeah, right. You are not too blessed to be stressed. Or maybe you're too blessed, but you're still stressed. Whatever the case may be is, if you pretend like you're not feeling something that you are feeling, you're going to get torn apart. It's like being drawn and quartered. You got one arm and leg hooked. The horse is saying happy, and one arm and leg, the horse is saying sad, and you're in the middle. And if you could just tell the truth, then the horses could go in the same direction. But instead, you say, "No, I'm gonna pretend like I'm feeling this way when I'm really feeling this way," and then those horses take off and you get ripped apart. And next thing you know, you just, I don't know. This might not be a good analogy, but I think you get the point. So my point is, if you're feeling crappy, that's not a crime. It's some stuff that you're supposed to feel crappy about, like injustice. That's a good one. Or if you burn yourself, or you find out your partner like jacked you and took all your stuff, I mean, you're gonna feel crappy. Yeah, you should get over it. But if you sit there and go, "Oh, it was great," you lying. So what's the point? You're never gonna get over something that you can't admit is a problem, right? So I point in the blog to Jesus as an example, because a lot of people have this idea of Jesus just being like, "Hi everyone, I'm Jesus, and I just feel happy all the time, and I want you to feel happy too, la." But if I read the story correctly, he had a couple bad days, and even when he was going down the way to the cross, the stations of the cross, as they say in Catholicism, he needed help because he was so beat up and so like weak from everything that happened that he needed somebody to help him out. And he didn't say, "No, no, no, I got this," like how we do. And there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from Jesus on the pain side that people don't even want to learn. Things that can actually help us avoid some pain if we could just stop projecting onto him this false idea that he was always happy, so that we don't feel like we always have to be happy. And that's talking to Christians. If you're not Christian, then I mean, I'm sure there's some equivalent that shows you that being in this world is not always sunshine and rainbows, as Rocky Balboa said. The Buddhists say that this world itself is suffering. They call it dukkha, you know? And there's some other words that I'm not really familiar with, but I know that they aren't pretending that everybody's supposed to be smiling and grinning and happy all the time. Because if you see a person walking around smiling and grinning all the time, you're going to think they're high. And chances are they are high because it's not reality. But there is an internal joy possible no matter what your situation is. Paul said that whether he abased or abounded. And I think that can be true for any situation, because once we realize that everything that's here comes from God, and that everything is giving to us and everything is teaching us and helping us to see who we are and where we come from, then we don't have to pretend like we don't feel what we feel. We feel it, we learn from it, and we keep moving through it. All of it is temporary until we come into that awareness of our eternal reality. But until then, when you're going back and forth in this place, I have to say, don't front. Feel what you feel and move through it. See you later. And remember, feeling crappy is not a crime.